food and I'm lazy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Mancunian Way. I'm your host, Patrick, and joined with me this evening is Mr. Alan. Hello, mate.
I'm all right, you?
Yeah,
I'm better than I was. I'm better than I was yesterday.
I think you and I will be giving each other a good grilling, given our history when we have bad form, mate. But look, before we dispose of the pleasantries, a big welcome to Kelster. She's back on the show again. How you doing, love? Everything all right in your neck of the woods?
Oh, yeah. We have a big holiday tomorrow, but I won't be able to participate because I have to work.
Oh, Thanksgiving's just
it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, but I got myself a nice pack of short ribs, so I'm gonna cook up some delicious food for myself.
That's nice. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy that. Yeah, that'd be epic.
I'll post pictures on Twitter if anybody cares.
Of course, yeah, good. Yeah, you can plug your Twitter. You can plug your Twitter before you go, mate. So we'll definitely do that anyway. But yeah, because I think posting food on social media right now is probably something that it's probably a welcome relief to all Blues right now anyway, because there's not a lot of things that are making us happy at the moment. Just a quick one. Martin's just in the background. He'll be posting all your comments up on the screen as well too. So anything that comes up, we will try and engage with everybody, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. But either way, we're here to try and, just bring a little bit of sanity back to everybody, because at the end of the day, I think we've been extremely blessed over the last few years, with everything that's happened, that a little bit of a slump, and that, hopefully we can rebound shortly. And, we're here to make everybody feel better. And, you can call us happy clapper if you want to, but look, we're just here to dissect Feyenoord and then maybe look a little bit forward to Liverpool. But of course, we will be back same time tomorrow with Thursday night chat in regards to that. But I think today's a good opportunity just to talk about Feyenoord and just a chance to just sort of, just de-stress a little bit and just enjoy ourselves a little bit and just remember why we're here to have a bit of fun. Adam Quinn, yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm all for it, and I will be at Forest next week anyway, so I'll be walking around like a Forest scout. I'll be walking around like a city scout watching Chris Wood, mate. So don't you worry. Yeah.
Why don't you just move to Manchester and just work for British Airways or something?
Okay, a couple of reasons. One, I'm too old to apply for a visa now, unless I've got tons of money. Number two, someone needs to keep you regulated from this side of the world, because Martin's from the UK anyway. So everything's fair, mate. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, so that's just it, guys. Yeah.
He's due for a trip down to Melbourne soon.
I know. I am due for a trip soon, but unfortunately, the just all the flights to Melbourne. Every man and his dog's trying to fly to Melbourne at the moment. I have no idea why. So it's just chaos there at the moment. Yeah. Actually, while we're there too, just big shout out as well, because just talking about flying was I've been recently chatting with former City player Spencer Pryor. Because anybody who doesn't know, he's a resident in Sydney here, and he was just I was just helping him out with his flights yesterday, and he went up to Brisbane actually to watch his daughter. His daughter Tash, is it, Alan?
Yeah,
daughter Tash was selected. Got her first ever cap for the Australian women's team for the Matildas. So big congratulations there, and great to see just how much football is in the blood in the Pryor family. So Spencer, if you're watching or if you're listening, mate, big up yourself, big up to Tash as well, and congratulations.
Congratulations. Big,
not sure if she played or not. I haven't had a chance to look at the game, but to get your first cap at that age, and just the pride in the family there must be absolutely fantastic. So good on you there, mate. Anyway, so big up to yourself. Look, enough dancing around the subject. Let's get to it anyway. Manchester City 3, Feyenoord 3. I'd say, I can't even say a tale of. All right, Martin. As I said, he's in the background, so he still pulls the strings. Before we crack on, football prizes have got an absolute belter of a competition this time around. It is 2 hospitality tickets to see. Hang on a sec, Martin. I think 2 hospitality tickets to Manchester City against Manchester United. Is that right? Or is the Forest competition finished, mate? Because I thought it was still. No, never mind. Anyway, 2 hospitality tickets to the Manchester Derby on Sunday, the 15th of December, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Tickets are on sale at £3.95. Up to 399 tickets are available. Don't forget, too, we also have 15 instant win prizes, including a Phil Foden shirt, 2 hospitality tickets to City versus Nottingham Forest on the 4th as well. Martin, I don't know if you want to put in the comments how many tickets have already been sold yet, but of course, I would not be surprised if this all sells out within a short space of time, because I think this is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Hospitality tickets to a Manchester derby. Keep in mind, this is only open to UK residents only, and thank God, because I will buy tickets to derbies, and me, I never go to derbies because every time we go, we always lose. So if somebody else would like to buy the ticket on behalf of for me and take it themselves, please do. You'll make me a very, very happy man. So yeah, guys, get onto football prizes and get involved with that, because that is one hell of a prize there, for only £3.95 per ticket, guys. So please get involved and help out football prizes, because they certainly help out us here at the Mancunian way. Carry on,
Martin, he needs to be on screen.
Right.
Well done,
now we've had the word from our sponsors. Let's get on to it. Manchester City 3, Feyenoord 3. Alan, I'll let you start, because in a way, I think some sort of misery might be justified in this, but I'm not going to talk about the end of the game. Let's talk about leading up to the start of the collapse, because to be honest, we looked a completely different team to what we've been for the last 5 or 6 games.
I'll be honest with you now. Before we start, I'd like to start with every City fan out there that's watching today and watching it on record later on. This is very important now that we get behind the team and get behind the club. They're having a tough time at the moment, one with injuries, which we all know about, but more importantly, it's a confidence thing now. I think when something goes wrong in a game, which it did towards the end, to Guardiola, who was responsible for 2 of their goals, the players, you can see it's affected them big time, confidence. So we have to get behind the team big time. I went through the real dark days, so I know what it feels like to be really struggling. And at the moment, the team are struggling, and they are struggling for confidence. As soon as something goes wrong, they think the worst. The old days of typical City seems to have come back to us. And I think we've got to all wake up and get behind the team. Shut all the other clubs out and all the other clubs' fans out and stick together. I think it's very, very, very important that we do that at this present moment in time. And I know it's difficult. I know that the club has changed. I agree with that. But the club at the moment is fighting like hell to stay in the top four. We're second at the moment. If we lose the weekend, we'll probably be out of the top four. We're lucky it's only just start of the season, not the end of it. I think the club have got to realise that we have to replace some of the older players now. When they get injured, it takes them longer to come back. And you can see that with Kevin De Bruyne. He doesn't look 100% fit for me. Ruben Diaz is struggling to get fit again. And rumour has it he might not be playing at weekend. So, Guardiola is still only he's a 22, 23-year-old player. And he's still, you can see when he makes a mistake, it does affect him. It really does. We started off the game really well. I thought we got our confidence up again. We were playing okay. And that includes every single person on that field. They were playing all right. And they were getting some confidence back when it all went tits up with 15 minutes to go. It was a shame.
I'll get onto the lineup while we're at it too, mate. So to start, we had Edison in goal, Rico Lewis, Manuel Kanji, Nathan Ake, and Josko Gvardiol in defence. Midfield, Mateus Nunez, Ilkay Gundogan. Bernardo Silva played out on the right, Phil Foden and Jack Grealish on the left, and Erling Haaland up front. At first glance, the lineup about as strong as we could probably afford. Keep in mind, there's probably going to be a factor of rotation in given Anfield on the weekend. What do you think, Hel?
Well, I really like that midfield. You could see how much better Gunda was playing, especially in the second half when he had some legs around him. Just like last year at Barcelona, he was kind of the older guy, and then he had like Pedri, Gavi, and all those guys doing all the work for him. So having Nunez in there, just having some fresh legs, somebody who could actually run was great to see. And I think we played better because of it. So I'm hoping we see that on the weekend, because I've been complaining a lot about how old and slow the midfield is. And so Pep finally went with like the youngest lineup possible. Well, people he'd actually play. And yeah, I think it really helped. So
I think the lineup was all right.
I'd rather see Bernardo out wide because he's not providing anything in the middle. So for him to just be out wide I'd rather see that. And then and having Jack in there was having some stability. So that was nice.
He doesn't give the ball away. Jack doesn't give the ball away.
Exactly. Like over the weekend, I could see the same lineup, except I would bench Bernardo and then put Savio in there. Keep the same midfield.
I'll be honest with you. The only thing I would have changed the other night, I'm not a fan of Guardiola playing fullback. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a better.
Really having a hard time right now.
Do you still believe that he should be playing what we bought him for, and that's at centre back?
Correct. That's what I think. He should have played centre back. Aki was on the field. Aki should have played fullback. Aki's miles better fullback than he is.
Yeah, but Aki, I think he needed to play center back because he needed to run less because he just came back from injury. Yeah. So that was a big problem.
I thought Akanji and Ake were a bit iffy at times there during the game, especially in the first half. But I've said this before in previous shows. Like I like the Akanji and Ake partnership at the back. I think it's one of the most. I don't know if it's the best, but it's one of the most solid ones. The majority of games when they play together, they were solid all the way through. Do
you like Guardiola at full back? Because I'm not a fan. I think he panics too much.
Yeah,
he does.
I get what you're saying too, and I think a lot of that backline had to do with the fact that it's more about they're there because others can't be there.
Yeah,
and I think we know for a fact that a healthy John Stones probably would have played in this because then that just would have been an extra body, advancing into the sixth role, that floating sixth role as he's known for as well. And I think and also too, if he had to drop back as well, so it probably puts a little bit less pressure on Gvardiol as well too to either track back or make sure his positioning is correct when we do go forward. So yeah, for me, it's always a case of you look at the lineups and you just think like, who's there because of those who can't be there, in a way. I don't know, I'll be honest, it's an obituary for something, but basically, you look at that lineup and you go, if we had a fully fit squad, I think there would have been some subtle little changes there too. But I think it was the best of what we can make do with what we had yesterday. And Blue Chat, I agree with you, mate. I thought Akanji was poor yesterday, to be honest. But I still think him and Ake together are a good partnership.
I thought Josko was actually really good defensively until he just lost his head for like no reason at all. So yeah, I thought he was doing really well. He was tracking back. He had a really nice block in the first half. I thought he was having a great game, and then he just completely lost it. And like the problem we're missing right now, I think, is we don't have anyone on the pitch to stop the bleeding when one mistake happens. It's like we've seen it the past couple of games. One goal goes in and everybody just collapses, and then you just know that bad things are coming. Like it happened in the Brighton game. Like we were playing great until one goal went in, and then all of a sudden the world has ended. And I think if we had Diaz on the pitch, we wouldn't have drawn the game yesterday. We would have won it because he would have been like, look, get it together. And there's nobody doing that. We had multiple captains. We had Bernardo and Gundo on the pitch yesterday. Well, I guess Gundo had subbed off. But yeah, De Bruyne and Bernardo were on the pitch during that capitulation, and they're not being leaders. We need this is I think where we really miss Rodri, is because he's always on the pitch and he tells people to get their S together when they mess up, and nobody's doing that, so they just keep messing up, and that's a problem. That's why we need Diaz back really badly. We need someone to lead that back line. There are no leaders back there.
I'll be honest with you now. After what happened the other night, would you play Guardiola against Liverpool?
I don't want to. No, I think he's just mentally gassed right now. I think we have to though, because I don't think Diaz is going to be ready.
Yeah, if Stones and Diaz aren't fit, Alan, then I think we've got no choice.
Stones is definitely not fit, but I know I've been ragging on him all season, but I'm surprised that Pusey came on yesterday instead of Kyle Walker. Just because of the experience factor. I know Walker is terrible right now, but I don't know. What sounds better to you guys, Kyle Walker or a 19-year-old who's played like 2 games?
I'll be honest with you. We've got far too many injuries at the moment. It's really concerning me. I'm thinking, what are they doing? What are they doing in training to get injured like this? You know, we've got 9 to 11 injuries at the moment, and a few of them playing with injections, which is very, very concerning. You know, the way that we collapsed yesterday was horrendous, and we've done it against Sporting Lisbon. We did it against Brighton, where we completely collapsed.
Yeah.
It's happening too often, far too often. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, Cal. In January, midfield's not the only thing we need. We need a defender as well, and I would like a proper left back next summer. I'll be honest with you now. I'm not. Yeah, we've not had a proper left back.
I want to get Robinson from Fulham. That's who I want.
Well, yeah, he's a good player.
My American friends say he's not good enough for City, and I'm like, he's really good. I think he's having a good season.
Well, he's a good player.
I'm just dying to have an American on City who's not terrible, because it's been a while.
Well, I'll be honest with you. City need to sign some quality players in the summer if we're allowed to.
Can we get back to? We'll get back to the game for a second. Are we also not giving props to Feyenoord? You know, for some of the substitutions that they made, given that certainly once the first goal went in, I think they got their tails up. They kind of realised, there were holes and there were players that they could exploit as well too. So I think in a way, while we probably overlooked the fact that we were technically sort of battering them up until the 75th minute. But I think at the end of the day, you still got to put your tail up and just basically go for it. And I think they made some decent little substitutions there. And the second they realised that once they increased the tempo a little bit, I think we sort of struggled just to keep up with them a little bit too. So
it was panic state. It was panic. Yeah. One mistake from that back pass, and everybody panicked.
Yeah.
Because there's no leaders on the pitch.
There was no
Bernardo and De Bruyne are not good leaders.
There's no calming influence on that pitch to get hold of him. See, if he'd had Diaz on there, he'd have said, right, guys, drop back 5 yards. Because that third goal, what the keeper was doing.
What was Ederson doing?
Well, to me, he should be dropped just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Bad.
because I would drop him. I really would.
He's been good this season, but he was terrible yesterday.
I'm not so sure he's been that good. His first shot ratio, he's been terrible again. And there was a keeper ridiculed for that not long ago for City, but I'm not so sure.
I'm actually surprised Ortega didn't start yesterday, because that seemed like a game he might start.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. He wanted to go. He wanted to leave, and I think come the summer, if he wants to leave, let him leave.
Yeah, I think I'm coming around to that. I was in denial for a long time, but I'm starting to come around to it.
Yeah, he's done well for us. I'm not going to slate him too much, but his form at the moment for me is not good enough. It really isn't. Sorry, I just dropped my parking ticket that I got the other day on the floor, so I've got to pay that today.
Well, you wouldn't have got a parking ticket if you just shut your mouth.
I know, true.
Yeah.
True.
He would have let you off, but then he got you for disorderly conduct. So.
Yeah. I don't know what do you think the solution is, Patrick?
Well, the solution, God, I think the solution is, for starters, you've got to get everybody healthy again. Because I think, Dynamic says something interesting before. He said, "Are you Rodri FC?" I said, "Well, we're playing like we're Rodri FC at the moment." So, it feels that way at the moment, and given the history of us playing without Rodri as well too. I think Pep had a plan, or had a plan B, that if Rodri ever needed to be rested, or if ever he was injured, then what he would refer back to, his plan B, was meant to be like a double pivot of basically like Stones and Akanji, because they have been proven that they can play the role when they need to. But the problem is just because we've had so many injuries across the defense, he's just not in a position necessarily to do it. And when he does try to do it, what's the depth that we have? Basically, Nathan Ake and Simpson Pusey. And fair play, like Simpson Pusey has done some good things in the academy and shown little glimpses, but he's not ready for the Premier League yet, for sure.
A lot to ask from him, yeah.
Yeah, and then he made a mistake. It's a huge thing to ask as well too. If anybody remembers, you remember the season where we went into COVID. You remember how much pressure we put on Harwood Bellis and Eric Garcia to do certain things for us when we had Laporte out long term, and then John Stones was just a shadow of the man that he is today. So if you have a look at it, there are sort of correlations between the last time we had a really, really poor season, and again, that was just from poor decisions that were made during the off season. Not getting a replacement for Vincent Kompany and relying too much on basically a skeleton squad in terms of defense as well. Now, I'm not saying that we're at skeleton defense now, but I just think there's so much happening with certain players right now, from injury to personal and things like that, that we're basically just working on sort of like a shoestring squad at the moment, and it's very, very tricky if you want to continue being at you're playing at absolute peak. Keep playing this absolute peak, but at the same time, it's like, your squad is just basically Swiss cheese at the moment. Sooner or later, just every squad just spends time just picking away at us, just trying to find holes, and eventually they do. So what we're basically trying to do right now is we're trying to you know what it is. It's like we're trying to fix a leaking submarine with sticking plasters, basically, and it's just. And I don't know how much the January market will help that. I don't know how much it will help us in terms of solidifying the back or having more of a presence in the midfield. I think the January transfer market will help in terms of getting some new blood in there, a bit more energy, a bit more tempo in the game as well too. But I still think we're going to be leaking some goals at the back. I'm not going to look too far forward as to what I think will finish at the end of the season. I think, we don't really make decisions on that until we hit about January, February, when we really start hitting our stride. But and I'm just going to go on and just say not only what I've seen from the game against Feyenoord, but from what I've seen over the last few weeks, because I've been, I haven't had a chance to be on the show just because I've been busy with work and that. But you got to think about the last time we had a terrible season like this, and it wasn't necessarily just because there were bad things happening on the pitch. It was just a case of we went into a season not necessarily with all guns blazing in a way too. And I'm going to refer back to that 1920 season, because it does feel similar. We do feel similarities to that as well. We're missing big pieces right now, trying to fix that up with plan Bs, and plan Bs are either can't play aren't at 100%, whether it be injury or personal issues. And for that reason, it's just we've just been getting picked off by teams.
Also, the plan Bs are just not good enough.
Yeah. And the plan, the plan, though, I think the plan B is good enough, but the problem is, it's just the plan B is just not, it's just not a regular presence because just rotation and injuries and that too. And I don't want to blame injuries, but when you're trying to replace a long-term injury with your best player in the squad, that be Rodri, with other players who have a worse injury history, then it's always going to make things difficult for you. You basically, you're already stymied yourself before you've already walked onto the pitch. And I think, and my personal opinion, I think we're still gonna suffer for a few more weeks before it starts to get better anyway. So
I think we'll suffer till January.
I don't think we're getting
probably agree.
anyone
I probably agree with
now.
you, Alan. I think there'll be some even more poor performances in there as well too.
Oh yeah, massively.
And we have to face facts. We have to accept that that's what's going to happen. But one thing I won't allow myself or allow anybody else to do is basically sort of cater to any sort of self-entitlement and believe that, why are we not winning every single game like we should be? You got to remember that we've just had the 4 best years of any football club in world football, basically. So for me, just to have a bit of a slump and a rebuild and a reset over a few months, I do not have a problem with that in any way, shape, or form. Every single club in Europe right now would give anything to be in our position right now. And if there's a team in Europe that can basically rebuild or start to get things right on the fly during the season, it's probably Real Madrid and it's probably us. Real Madrid proved the last season what they did with so many injuries in their squad as well too. I'm not saying that we're going to turn around and turn to Galacticos overnight with what we've got, because there's a lot more things happening than just what's been happening on the pitch. I think sometimes, given what we've just done in the last 2 seasons, there's a good chance to step back, take a reset, and then we go again, whether it's next season or we start hitting our stride. We get into a good run of form for the end of the season or something like that. But right now, I just think we just need to be good in the sum of our parts. Where now, looking back at Feyenoord yesterday, yes, it was great. It was great to see us scoring goals again. It just feels like goals were just few and far between. And maybe that is a plus to take out of yesterday's game, because we did look good for a lot of the time there going forward. And then it was just defensive mistakes, and they're just defensive mistakes. And I think there's maybe another that's probably another tactic that other teams are just preying on as well too, just pressure on us until we make a mistake.
They are. They just wait. They just wait for one pass.
We just have to accept that the things are not anywhere near perfect at the moment, and we just need to just keep the faith and just stick to the plan and make the best of what we can do with what we have right now, and accept the fact that it ain't going to be pretty for a little while, and just understand that while rivals say they don't talk about City, I still guarantee you they'd rather be in our position right now, because if this is going to be our first slump that we've had basically since before the COVID pandemic, then I'm happy to wait another 5 years before we have another slump, let me tell you. So I'm not too worried about it, and I hope there's a lot of people out there that can listen to what I say and understand that there are worse things going on out there, and I think we just need to band together a little bit, go back to that little old blue community that we're known for, and just accept the fact that things are poor right now, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So we just need to stick in there and just do the right thing by each other.
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous about a couple of players playing way too many minutes. Like Rico, Joško, and Holland they're being run into the ground. Holland especially, because he plays every minute for Norway too, and so does Joško for Croatia. Like those two are desperate to have a game off. And I don't know when the Holland thing is going to be really scary, because if he gets injured, who's going to score? Because I've been critical of this for a while. No one else scores on our team. And this is where I thought Foden was going to step up. I know I've been very critical of him.
If I'm going to be happy clappy, if I'm going to be happy clappy, like people call me and Martin, I was like, well, if Haaland goes down injured, then that means we'll see more false nine Gundogan again. So I'm all for it. So who knows? Look, I think we need to face facts that things are poor at the moment, and I think they may still get worse just for a few more weeks before they start getting better again. So we just need to keep the faith and don't worry about what's happening outside of the blue world. Just let them deal with their own crap, because again, like I said, I would happily trade these last 6 weeks of just rubbish for the last 4.5, 5 years of just absolute joy that this club has given me. So
I think
I'm fine.
as City fans right now, I think the fan base, especially the young ones, have got to accept we're not going to win the league this year. Okay, we haven't
It's not that, Alan. They just need to understand that we're not perfect. We're not perfect.
Listen, we're not
No.
perfect.
We came bloody damn close to it. We had bloody damn close to it, but
I know. And remember this, you know, Patrick, when I first met you, City were nothing. They were nobody, right? Yeah. And with the last 12 years we've had has been a dream, okay? Now, the era of these players, a lot of them now, is coming to an end. Like the Walkers, like the Kevin De Bruyne's. All the older players are getting too old now, and it's been proven this year. They've got a year too long, probably. KDB's he's had too many injuries in the last 2 years for me, and it's got to a point where we can see it in his face, and we can see it in the way he's playing games, and then going off, but only playing 15 minutes. You know, you can't pay someone 400 grand a week to play 10, 15 minutes. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's a business, and it's sad. But you know, I cried when David Silva left. He was my favourite player, and he still is. But at some point, the club have got to sit back and look at what we've got to do in the summer to replace some of these players. We're not going to be able to do it in January. You dream me. You're not going to get what you want in January. You might get a stopgap player that's going to come in and replace Rodri till the end of the season. That is it. If thinking all these big names are going to come, you're dreaming. We've got to accept that this is a rebuild. I reckon the rebuild is going to be over 2 seasons, not over 1.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, so we have to accept.
Clear all these players out, and who's going to take them?
When
Injury-prone players on high wages. That's going to be tough to move.
When Ferguson did it for United, it took him sometimes 2 years to rebuild that team and go again.
Yeah,
we have to accept that is going to be the case. Until then, we've got to be patient. But a lot of youngsters play FIFA. I think it's just move people around. You can't. It's not as easy as that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just like to inform everybody on the show that this side of Alan is only seen once every 5 years when we do have a slump. So don't think that this is a new reformed Alan. This is just someone who's bathing, whose own misery is only superseded by our form on the pitch right now. So don't think he's changed. Don't think he's been to any sort of any sort of anger management classes or anything like that.
I was very angry after the final whistle.
This is sort of like a temporary sort of honeymoon period, Alan, right now. So the second we start winning again, it will be back to your lovable misery guts again. Don't you worry. Yeah, look, I think what hasn't been said, what's already been said about Feyenoord's already been said by several channels. I mean, like you look at the way we played, and up until 75 minutes we were good, and this team looked like they were on the way back, and we just made some terrible mistakes, and it just exacerbates everything that we've done over the last 5 or 6 games. So yes, it makes the feeling even worse than what it already was. And to be honest, there are people out there that are saying this was a worse performance than any of the previous 5 performances we had. I don't know. I beg to differ, just because unfortunately, sometimes if you make mistakes in small periods of the game, a team can jump on you. So it's very, very disappointing. But again, I think those that have made peace with what we're doing right now and how we're playing, I think we can certainly function better as people in everyday life. And I think we just need to understand that there is nothing wrong with just taking a step back if it means there's a chance to take 2 or 3 steps further forward in the future. I have no problems with that. These are football players. They're grown men. They are capable of making the same mistakes that you and I are making everyday life as well. We just need to accept that this is a chance to just sort of step back, analyze, assess, and if they need to rebuild, restart, reset, whatever they need to do, then that's going to come in the near future, and we need to accept that. It's just that's the way things are. I know people feel like they're getting pressured by rival fans and things like that, but I think sometimes you just need to do the old Jack Grealish celebration, block out the haters, just worry about your team, care about your fellow Blues, and just accept things for what they are. And the sooner you start to embrace the sort of old mentality of a City fan where, we could lose on any given day, I think the sooner you can function better as a person and just, accept things for what they are, have a bit of a laugh and just enjoy yourself. Because I think during this time, I think a lot of fans have forgotten or need to be reminded about what it is to be a Blue. And it's about not being afraid to be self-deprecating and just have fun with it, whether we win, draw, lose, and just love life and have a laugh and just enjoy yourself.
Big up to you, Steve, as well, Steve Lewis, who I spoke to last night on the stream.
See, Adam Quinn's driving the Chris Wood bus, mate. He's ready. He's ready.
Oh, mate, Chris Wood, you can't argue what he's doing. You can't argue with it. The figures are there.
He was a meme last year. Now he's actually good.
So
can I just put a forewarning out there too, right? So let's look at next week. So I've mentioned on shows before that if I'll be over for the Forest at home game, right? If Forest at home is our first win, since bloody October or whatever it was, can everybody? I'm happy to exchange just contact details with everybody because I'm worried that if we do win, I may get kidnapped because somebody will want to keep me over there until we start losing again. Because I'm worried that I might turn into somebody's idea of a win streak. So
we might lock you in the basement.
Yeah, probably. If you lock me in the basement, just give me, as long as you have a TV with a subscription to Sky Sports, and that's fine.
How long are you going for? Just 1 week?
I'm only going to Manchester for 4 days, but I'll be away for nearly 3 weeks because I'm going to Norway to hopefully see the Northern Lights. So, so I'm hoping to do that. Alan, I'll be over there actually when the Manchester derby's on, so you can tell I don't want to be at the derby because every time we go, we always bloody lose.
You're not going to the derby then. That's fair enough.
No, we always bloody lose, man. I'm not having a bar of it. No.
Mate, I'm more worried about getting annihilated this weekend, and I hope it's not an annihilation.
Yeah, true.
No, I'll be honest with you, mate.
Real Madrid's back line is also doo-doo right now.
Yeah, it's not with our injuries and our self-destruct button. It's clearly there to be seen. I just don't want to. I fear the worst that I don't feel. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So assuming
I have two predictions and they're both awful.
And this isn't just for what's coming up at Anfield on the weekend. If we had a fully strength squad, like no injuries or whatsoever, who would you? I'm not going to go and say who your lineup is because I think we'll be here for hours. But the thing we need to look at is. See, I'm going off a lot about what Pep said a few days ago, I think leading up to the final game. Might have even been Spurs, I'm not too sure. But he said that and I said this a few minutes ago, that his plan B without Rodri was to play Akanji and Stones in a double pivot. Would you agree with that, given that we had a completely full squad?
No.
So you wouldn't play Stones and Akanji double pivot with Ake and Diaz behind him?
No, I don't. They're not midfielders. I don't like Akanji in a pivot. He's just not good at it. I've never liked any. He just doesn't have the positional awareness, and he just makes mistakes. And I don't like him in there at all. I don't know why.
So who's the number 6 or the double pivot combination that you would have, Kel, that makes you feel most comfortable with? Given Rodri's still injured,
given who we have, I would go Gundo and Stones.
So at the moment we don't have
a midfielder. He knows he can. He's much better at Gundo is a midfielder, so you obviously need a midfielder as a pivot, and then Stones has proved he can play in the midfield a lot better than Akanji can. So I'd just rather I want Akanji's pace at the back because we don't have any pace at all in that back line. They're all slow. So he should not be in the midfield. He should be in the back attempting to stop some of these counters we're constantly facing.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one who can do that. Because Walker clearly has no pace anymore. Vardiel's slow. Diaz has never had pace. Ake has never had pace. So if I could, and also Gundo and Stones have been playing together for so long that they know each other a lot better. So
Kel, in an ideal world, if you could have one player in that back line, would it be something like a Van de Ven, a good defender who's just who's an absolute so quick?
Maybe he's a fullback, but he's kind of a bozo. He has a lot of speed, but he does
have bozo moments as defense. I don't know it's fresh coming from us, seeing as they just slapped us up 4-0 last weekend, but I get what you're saying. But Alan, the question for you: would you go for something similar? Because I know you're a huge a huge fan of the 4 centre backs like we had in the treble season.
I would go for my 4 centre backs. As soon as we get back to fitness, 4 centre backs. Walker's passed it. I'm sorry, he's passed it.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Walker,
would you still have him coming off the bench like a super sub, like just to lock down?
Yeah, he could do the rest of the season. Yeah, right. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, it's 4 centre backs. The club need to buy a number 6 for me.
Who's going to come though? Because we know Rodri's coming back, and he's probably going to extend his contract. So
we still need to buy number 6. You're not going to get a top line number 6 because
Alan, do you buy a number 6 or do you buy a versatile 6 that can play an 8 as well?
I buy a 6. Right, that's it. We're not going to get a top line backup to Rodri because they're going to ask, well, hang on, when Rodri comes back, where am I going to play? So to me, I would go and get the ex Villa player.
Oh, Luis?
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing a lot for Juventus. I don't even know if he's
playing. I don't care. He's in a fallout with the manager. I would go and get him and say, till the end of the season, we want you here on loan. And if it works out with him, you sign him. You're not going to get a top line CDM to sit on the bench for half a season. You're just not.
Yeah.
But see, Alan, this is what I've been trying to say on previous shows as well too about who we may sign in January and who may come in as a backup with it quote unquote backup for Rodri.
Get him on loan, mate. You get him on loan.
I get that, but City don't loan. City don't loan. They just don't do it. They loan out, but they don't loan in. When they buy, you know how it is. When they buy players in the hope that they're going to be there for at least 5 years.
Yeah, he's had a fallout with their manager. That's why he's not playing at Juve.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we should be all over that then.
We should be looking at it.
It's not a bad shout, but you know, City would only be in on it if it meant that they could keep him for long term and not just for half a season.
Well, get him on loan for half a season. If it works out, you sign him. Simple. Yeah. Change the mentality. We need someone in there, and if that means go and getting him on a loan, see how it works out. So be it.
It would be helpful too. We've signed a lot of like duds on long-term contracts lately, so a loan might not be the worst thing. Test him out.
I just test him out. He's been at the club before, so he knows it. When he didn't have a work permit, he couldn't play. Which is true.
Piss off, Morgan.
People are saying, people are mentioning, like LB, they're mentioning all these big names. They're not going to come and sit there and then sit on the bench. They're not going to do it. They're just not. You're dreaming.
The only thing I'm going to say to that too, Alan, is I get what you're saying because I know you want to replace the best number 6 with a decent number 6 at least, something that can get us through till the end of the season, and then we reevaluate and we reassess and we go again. But one thing you have to say about a lot of our players, and this does, this kind of can apply to the defenders, but mostly to the midfielders, is how versatile our midfield is and how versatile some of our attackers are as well. Do you think it's the right thing, or it's more in City's? It's more something City would do to not just buy a number 6, but also buy a midfielder or a number 6 that has a bit more versatility. For 2 reasons. One, because we like our players being a bit more expansive. And you're right, Kel?
Liverpool just conceded a penalty, or they just gave up a penalty. So
okay.
See if Mbappe can score a goal.
Yeah, well, can they do that next weekend? The
Robertson.
The only thing I'm thinking is that we buy a lot of players because not only maybe because they're versatile, but because Pep sees them as a player that he can mold into something that he wants. So we look at Rodri was a perfect example. We called him, he was just a one-trick pony, a number 6. And that first season or two, he was a one-trick pony and he was ploddery. He was bang average at best about doing it. Then Pep molded him into not only just a fantastic number 6, but then a number 6 who can advance the ball and play a bit more advanced roles when we're in attack. do you think that if we are looking at a number 6 in the January market, do you think that they're looking at a player who can play that number 6, but then is just as good going forward in playing in more advanced roles as a number 8 or as a second number 10 or anything just going forward, not just a one-trick pony who's going to sit just in front of the defense for 90% of the game? Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear exactly what you're saying, but last time I looked, Luis can do that. And City was, don't forget, Pep loved him. The only reason he didn't stay at City is because he couldn't get a work permit with City. He couldn't have built there because he played 70% of the games.
Yeah, true. And with all due respect, I haven't had a chance. I didn't get the chance to watch a lot of Dougie Luiz when he was at Aston Villa, but he did seem to play a really good role under Unai Emery there. I don't know how much. I don't know how much more advanced as a number 6 he was. Like what sort of his positioning. If anybody out there is saying watch Douglas Luiz under Villa and that, but you do get that sense that Unai Emery got a really good tune out of him. So I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. But again, every time we look at signing a player, it doesn't matter what situation or what scenario it is, whether we're winning 10 in a row or we've lost 10 in a row, it doesn't matter. But I always look at what's their versatility, and that's why I think we've always got to give a player a year to bet in, because you don't know what Pep wants to turn them into.
I just told we're allowed to buy players because I don't want to get pinged, because if we get pinged, we're in trouble.
Do you think Cheeky's going to give us a nice little parting gift over the next 2 transfer windows?
I hope so.
Mbappe missed the pen.
He's done what?
Mbappe missed the pen.
He's
So it could be worse. It could be worse. We could be stuck with Mbappe and his $2 million a week or whatever.
Yeah, he's bang overrated. He is.
I thought he'd be happier because he's actually playing his favorite position, but he's been not good. Valverde's having a nice game. That's about it.
He is bang average.
Oh, good. We don't have to worry about that.
Do you think Mbappe? Yeah, it's a good question actually. Do you think Mbappe's taken Madrid a step back?
It's all about him, mate. That's the problem.
It's fitting him in. Yeah.
That's the thing. And I've said this before, Alan. I said I don't trust anything that comes out of that PSG locker room. And I think you go back to the years of Neymar and even Messi didn't feel comfortable. You could tell Messi didn't feel comfortable there either. It's just that case of this mentality of just the and this is all due respect to PSG, because I don't really know too much about them, and I think they do an okay job in a way, but you just wonder what the culture of that club is there. I just think they still. This is before the Luis Enrique days, because they are going down a much different path now. They're not doing like a French Galactico sort of thing. Yeah, you got the sense that there were so many big egos. There was so many big egos in that clubhouse that you felt like any player that you may have taken from that club in, you run the risk of ruining the harmony that you have in the clubhouse when they come in. It really, really would concern me. That's why people who said, I'd love to have Mbappe. I was like, I don't, because I don't know what sort of person he would be off the pitch. He may give you absolute brilliance, but if he's going to affect the clubhouse, then that's going to affect what happens on the pitch as well. And I wonder if that's the same thing happening with Madrid at the moment.
Well, as long as he may continue.
They just do this, though.
Yeah.
But also, PSG apparently are not doing so hot. I heard they're not even in. I heard they're in 25th place right now in the league, the Champions League right now. So they're not even in the playoff.
The way we're going, we'll be down there as well. So I don't say too much. Seriously, we got PSG and Juve. That ain't going to be easy away from home.
Yeah. Well, Juventus, I don't think are that great. I don't watch any Serie A, but I've heard they're just not. I heard they're gettable, but
they're better than us at the moment. Unfortunately,
well, it's in January, isn't it? So maybe we'll have somebody by then. Who knows?
We'll see. I'm gonna have to go at 8:30, mate, over here. So
yeah, fair enough.
We'll
keep going for another 5 or 10 minutes or so. But, yeah, look, I think we just sort of
running his mouth earlier too, and talking
about the game yesterday. Yes, it was a shock, and yes, it was a collapse, complete collapse within a few minutes. And somehow
they played well until the subs came on. Ake and Gundo were very stabilizing yesterday. I really think we should go with that midfield, the same midfield.
We just can't
Based on
afford
what we have available. I really think that. I really like Nunez's legs. I know he's not the greatest, but I think we need that pace and that physicality and that height and the speed that he has in that
Alan,
midfield.
you've got to
right
be honest.
now.
Nunez was probably the best player on the pitch yesterday.
Yeah.
Julie memberships, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Julie, member for 17 months. Again, big thanks for your support. And you're going to make Pep a very happy man, of course.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
While we're on the subject, did Pep have a fight or something?
Dude,
Because
Pep is in Fight Club.
before the game, he didn't have a scratch on his nose. And after the game, he did, right? And his head was all scratched. So did Pep have a scratch?
I think he was in the middle of something.
Pep is in Fight Club.
I've heard he was in the middle, like, trying to break it up.
Oh,
I don't think it was directly at him. I think two players. I think two or more players. Yeah,
scrapping.
That's the reports.
Ooh.
That's the word at the moment. That's all I've heard.
Who?
No. That's all I heard. It was just a couple of players got a bit iffy with each other.
Oh,
it wouldn't surprise me.
That's all we've heard. That's all we've heard. Nothing's been released. Nothing's been released.
Oh my god!
People are more focused on what Pep said about self-harm, which, by the way, if anybody's seen, I think he posted on his Twitter or his team on his social media has posted that, obviously he doesn't make fun of self-harm or anything like that. I just think we just need to leave it. Just leave it for what it is.
I really wonder who that
I think
is.
I think the pictures say enough. Make your own assumption as you want, but if BB, thank you. If there is a little bit of a dressing room fight, I think we just need to keep that internal and let
what happens in the changing room stays in the changing room.
We'll see who leaves in January.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You remember Cancelo?
And BB said it perfectly. We've stopped the rot. We've stopped losing at least. We stopped losing at least, and that's the City mentality we should have.
That was very typical City, but I think that's been worse than any of the losses.
I think the other thing too is you got to look at what three of their three goals. What were their three goals? At least two of the three goals were because of City bozo moments, right?
Yeah.
Bozo moments go together with a team that's out of form, like they go together like peanut butter and jelly, sort of thing.
Katniss, Katniss game. This is the first show I've done where the cat hasn't been on the screen yet.
Patrick, in the 90s and late 80s, that sort of thing was happening once every month, minimum with City.
Yeah,
minimum. Mm-hmm. Trust me, it was. I went through it. I was that main row watching it, and seriously,
Alan joined it. Alan was joining in half of them.
Listen, and people wonder why the way I am in the Imperial now, and I live over here. When we're 3-0 up with 5 minutes to go, I still think we're going to get beat because of the past. Watching it, that's what we were like. So, well, City are back. City are back. We're back in the 90s.
Yeah. And Alan's loving it again. He's reliving his youth. He's loving it. He's absolutely loving it.
Even Ross.
This is the, ladies and gentlemen, this is the closest you'll ever get to happy clappy Alan.
Yeah, this is Ross. Ross texted me going, "We're back," and he's right. We're back.
He's got the early feed.
I posted on our Sydney Blues group chat. I said when we're 3-0 up, I said I don't recognise this team anymore. And then when they leveled at 3-3, I sent another one saying I don't recognise this team anymore.
Mate, it used to happen most weeks, mate. Seriously. I went to Bournemouth away when we were going for promotion years and years ago, right? We were 3-0 up at half time, right? We should have been 7. And then the last 15 minutes, Bournemouth scored 3 goals to equalise, and we didn't get promoted
to the
week after.
Yeah.
And I went down to watch them get promoted, and they just fucked everything up.
Was that the game where Kevin Horlock got a red card for aggressive walking?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, Cal.
Bye. Yeah.
Take care, Dom.
It's a few times. I've seen it happen a few times with City, and I thought, Jesus Christ, we're back again to the 90s. That's exactly what happened. And yesterday concerned me because there were pretty much 3 howlers. Well, 2 of them by one person, and then the goalkeeper. What he was doing, it was complete panic. But what were they going? Why were they so high up the pitch? So if you'd have had Diaz there, he would have said, "Drop back, boys, drop back." He would have calmed them all down. It wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you'd had Vinny there, Vincent Kompany, that would never have happened.
I think this is why. I think this is part of the reason why, you know, a lot of people don't give Ruben Diaz the credit he deserves.
Yeah.
And I've been giving him his props for years because I remember watching this guy. I watched this guy at Benfica about 2 years before we signed him, and I was like, this guy, we need to get this guy through the door. I didn't say off the bat that I thought he'd be a direct Vincent Kompany replacement in terms of captain material, but he would be a good leader just for that back four in a way. So, he talks. He's vocal. He gets the team together, and I think we're really missing him at the moment. And also, too, I think what he proves is also what Vincent Kompany proved when Pep came in as well, too, where it was like, in a perfect world, Pep wants ball-playing centre-backs, you know, who can move the ball around and position and play well. But you've got to understand that that doesn't exactly apply to English football. You're still going to need someone with chest. You're going to need someone who can just absolutely bowl over an attacker or something like that, you know, win the ball back. Not just necessarily like finessing beautiful passes and, you know, being rapid in that. That's great. That helps, you know, playing from out the back and things like that. But I think you need to understand that you need just a little. You're not going to need just that in England. It's not going to help for you. And I think Ruben Diaz is a perfect embodiment of that too. I think he's the closest thing. I can't really think of anybody else really in the last few years as a defender who could possibly take the Vincent Kompany torch and sort of run with it. Vinny will always be our leader. He was one of the greatest captains we've ever had. But Ruben Diaz, I think at this rate is by the time he finishes his career at City, he could definitely be within a shout as saying like this guy was as good. It could be as good, not just as a defender, but as a captain, quote unquote, as what Vincent Kompany was. Yeah. I've always admired the guy. I love his mentality. You know, he doesn't get distracted too much by things off the pitch. You know, I mean, like I think majority of his family all moved to Manchester here with him, so he's always close to his family. You know, he's a really, really good role model for players, and I totally get it. Like young City fans, you know, everything's about Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland is a great role model because he's casual, he's chill, he keeps it fun, he keeps it lighthearted. He says things that can be funny, can be cheeky, but never ever controversial. But I think a real role model that a lot of parents, you know, should put their children on in terms of influence, to me, is just Ruben Diaz. I just think he's just a fantastic footballer, and he's just a wonderful human being. And the sooner we get him back, the sooner we'll start seeing a bit more of a galvanized squad, I think, at City, that's for sure.
Don't want to go on too much. We've got a show tomorrow, as we know, at 8:30. So
no, that's why every time we mention Liverpool, I was just trying to deflect because we'll get down to business in regards to that on Thursday night chat. Pending any changes, we should be on at around about the same time tomorrow anyway. But look, Alan, if you
8:30 in the UK.
Yeah.
So we'll be back on tomorrow. So we'll leave everything till tomorrow and go from that. And you were going to say, Patrick?
Oh, no, mate. Just quickly pop in the football prizes again. Just a reminder, this new competition is out, and it's an absolute doozy. 2 hospitality tickets to the Manchester Derby for Sunday, 15th of December. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Plus signed memorabilia, including a signed Phil Foden 24-25 season shirts. Yeah. Again, 2 hospitality tickets to the Manchester Derby. Tickets cost £3.95. 399 tickets are available in this competition. Martin, if you know how many tickets are still available, please post it in the comments. If anybody needs to know, that'd be great. Competition closes at 7:30 p.m. this Monday. That's British Standard Time as well. And this competition is open to UK residents only. So yeah, guys, get involved because, as I said before, I don't go to derbies, so someone else can get a ticket for me and go on my behalf. Then I'll be more than happy with that.
It's funny that I was watching YouTube. A lot of fuel quite a long time ago, and watching all the City fans sing underneath the stand, and then you come walking past. I remember seeing you on one of those as well. Do you remember? It was Old Trafford.
Which one was this?
Oh God, it's years ago. I'm sat there watching it on my TV. Next thing I see Patrick walking past him and giving it all this. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, he's there again. Oh dear. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember. I think we got bait at Old Trafford when you went.
Yeah, well, I only went once, and that was the League Cup round. We played them in Pep's first season. And if you remember, he played half the academy because I think we had Barcelona coming up or something.
Yeah, we did.
He was worried. I think we had a couple of injuries. He was worried about rotation. So we played half an academy against their full-strength squad, and we only lost 1-0.
Absolutely.
And I remember walking out. I remember walking out there, and I said, "That's it. I'm never going to Old Trafford again." Not because we'd lost, but I was just like, I don't need to go again.
Did you burn your shoes you were wearing after because you can't? They're infected.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do a whizzer. I don't have the shoes anymore. No. They're gone. But I didn't do a whizzer where I went and bought a brand new pair, for going in and out of the ground. So
put it up and get done.
In other words, Payne wants to leave. Mike wants to pack you. Okay, we'll tomorrow 8:30. We're back on a big panel tomorrow, and we'll chat about playing the Dippers. So from that, it's goodbye from me,
Alan Waffleson. Yeah, all right, Alan. We'll see you off, mate. I'll probably wrap up the show in the next few minutes anyway. But if anybody has any questions for me, Martin, just post them and I'll see what I can answer to anyway. But Alan, good to hear from you. Good to see you, mate. And we'll look forward to catching up again same time tomorrow.
Yep, see you, mate. Bye-bye.
I don't know what that was from Martin. He was probably going back to his days when he used to piss off into the Pennines when we played derbies at Old Trafford. So, mate, if you want to explain yourself in the comments, please do so. As I said, I'm not in a position to read the comments or anything he posts. I will happily answer just for a few more minutes before we wrap up. Yeah, you can make it awkward if you want. I'm not too worried. So, yeah. DC, I know you're the happiest in the chat. So, big up yourself. Thanks, love. All good. Yeah. Do you know something funny, actually? I was just, without getting too poetic about things, but I can't help but, look at the last month or so and just think about just some lyrics from a song that I had seen, that might be a bit poetic based on what we've been dealing with over the last few weeks. And that is nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change, and it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. Now, if you know exactly what the name of that song is, please post it, because I've just given you a big hint with the last two words. But that's just the way I feel about what's been happening over the last Pat and Paddington. Peruse from a bygone era now, Martin. Don't start, okay? Yeah. Who gives an F about Liverpool, mate? All I care about is what our club is doing. And again, as I said, it's been so damn bloody good, over the last 4 or 5 years that if it's just been crashing down on us over the last 4 or 5 weeks, the sooner we understand. Yeah, I've always said the first step to solving a problem is understanding that there is one, and I'm sure we've got we've got the resources and we've got the people in place to get it right soon. 6-0 Liverpool, God's sake. Yeah. Martin, yeah, big up. Thanks, mate. Thanks for being in the background, just helping out with the show again as well. Yep, as mentioned, we will be back for Thursday night chat tomorrow at 8:30. My intention is to be on the show, and I should be on the show. So pending any changes to work in that as well. I haven't had a chance to just formally apologize, but yeah, I have been a bit quiet over the last few weeks, just with my work at anybody who doesn't know, I work at Qantas, Australia's airline, and I've just been doing for the last 8 weeks or so, just been doing some really intense additional training with regional operations as well. So I haven't been avoiding the channel just because we've been losing or anything like that. It's just a case of just this time of year, I've just been given extra work, and I've been happy to take it because obviously it's more spending money for me to come over and catch up with everybody in Manchester or from around the way. So yeah, I'll be off to Manchester on Monday. I'll be arriving on Tuesday. I should be there for about 4 or 5 days. And again, as I said, anybody who's in town, please just hit me up on social media. I'll be more than happy to have a catch up with you. Because I love Manchester at this time of year, and take away the football. As I've said before, it's a great town. you know, those Christmas markets are some of the best in Europe, and you know, it's a good time. It's a good experience to be there, you know. And of course, you know, Mancunians are fantastic people, and you know, they're passionate about everything in life. So I always try to embrace that as much as I can whenever I'm over there as well. So yeah, look, I'll leave it at that anyway, Martin. So again, big up to Football Prizes, you know, with that competition, as I mentioned before, 2 hospitality tickets to the Manchester Derby, signed Phil Foden shirt, plus plenty of instant win prizes as well. Get your tickets in by 7:30 on this coming Monday, British Standard Time. Yeah, please get a part of that, because Football Prizes has been a fantastic sponsor of the show. They look after us really, really well. And of course, you know, with a competition like that, they'll look after you as well too. So yeah, look, I'm going to wrap it up anyway, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't liked the video or subscribed, even if, you know, you're a rival fan or anything like that, it helps us out. You know, because at the end of the day, we are a community. There is a lot of rivalry and tribalism in football, but depending on how you look at it, it can be a lot of fun as well too. So anybody, all Blues in the chat, you know, all the usual suspects, you know, big up to yourselves, a lot of love, and hope to catch up with you again soon. Let's just face facts that things are a little bit dark at the moment, but as most City fans know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It may only be you may only seem like a pinprick to some people, that light at the end of the tunnel, but I tell you what, we if there's any team that knows how to turn it around and get it going again, is Manchester City. So I'll look forward to seeing you all again, same time tomorrow, where we dissect the trip to Anfield, and let's just take it from there, guys. And it's just one step at a time. It's just baby steps. I mean, at least the losing streak has finished. Not the most ideal way, of course, but you got to start from somewhere, guys. And until then, thanks everybody for being a part of the Mancunian way. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care. Martin.